Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Miller Thyme. Now today we're gonna do a review on this debate, Biden versus Trump 2024. I haven't watched the whole video, but I mean I seen the highlights of it, and I just wanted to give a run through and watch the entire debate on my own. Just review it with y'all. So I'm gonna take a look and see what's going on with Biden and Trump. Let's get into this, fam.
Shut your mouth, no, you roll like the Rock said. Don't give a fuck about what your pop said. Yeah, just shut your mouth, no, you roll like the Rock said. Don't give a fuck about what your pop said. Yeah, just shut your mouth, no, you roll like the Rock said.
Alright, hold up. Wait a minute. Alright, we back. OBS kind of tripping, but let's get to this.
Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then
I ain't trying to blow your ears out, my bad, fam.
And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject.
Bro, hey, Trump. He trying his damnedest not to laugh, bro. I swear to God, I see like he want to laugh, bro. Trying to be professional, because this nigga Biden, that's what I'm saying. Like, he ain't even, just let's just watch, man.
A little bleach in your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do was try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out the position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more.
And I call bullshit on that, bro. There's no, look, bro, I've been looking for work for about like 4 months. Luckily, you know, I've been doing a little something off to the side. Legally, don't worry about it. Been able to pay the bills and shit, you know, but as far as like employment, nah, the job's pretty scarce out here, fam, because y'all constantly shipping shit overseas. We need to address why we sending so many fucking billions of dollars over to Ukraine to fund a war that doesn't involve or need us interfering with them. We need to figure out why we bringing people from Ukraine over here, put them in sanctuary cities, and not only them, but people from Afghanistan as well. A few years back, when Biden first got in office, put them in sanctuary cities, giving these motherfuckers funding and all of that shit. Meanwhile, you raising the prices of everything, and now we all gotta pay more and shit, but they motherfucking coming over here from poverty, from fucking the ghettos and slums and shit of those areas over there, and coming straight to America, getting pretty much middle-class treatment. That's kind of crazy, fam, don't you think? Now, how the fuck is these guys, bro, you bringing these people over here, really, and sending money over there, too? We paying for it. What the fuck are you talking about? And what jobs are you talking about? However many you created, it ain't enough to get motherfuckers back working. The wages, fam, is a fucking joke. A lot of other companies are starting to raise their rates, starting pay to like 20 something an hour, but you know, that's head above water type money. That's like getting everything paid and having just enough to get your food, which is cool. But the economy need to be at a point where you can have a good paying job, a fucking affordable housing. They got Georgia, the state of Georgia, being investigated right now for spiking up the rent prices and shit. It was an article that I was reading. It says the FBI is now investigating that whole rent spike thing that's going on in Georgia, and I'm pretty sure if they're doing it there, they're gonna start rolling that shit out in other states too. Cause nigga, in Illinois, a sanctuary city, and I mean, Chicago, sanctuary city in Illinois and shit. That's pretty much on the same thing. Cause like I said in the other video, there's one dude that was an Uber driver that came pick me up when I had got service done on my car and shit. Dropped me off to the crib. He was from Chicago. Then the dude that picked me up from the crib to take me back to the dealership, he was from the Chi-Town too. I'm like, damn, all these motherfuckers from Illinois up here. And one of them, the first one, was basically saying like, shit, rent is like $2,000 a month, like a 1-bedroom apartment. He's like, that's why I came up here, because shit is way cheaper up here. And I'm like, well, shit, bro. Hopefully it'll remain like this, because Wisconsin ain't too bad with the rent pricing at all. Unless you under Barada. Nah, everybody in Milwaukee especially already know about Barada, folks. Nigga, Yusuf Barada, bro. That nigga a billionaire, bro. Horrible condition housing. He done did so many tenants dirty, and that shit been on the news. Motherfucker had units burning down and shit, or had people getting kicked out and shit, just boarding up they apartment building, doing all types of weird shit. And it was just crazy, fam. But let's get back to this debate, though. This is what happens when you're under Democratic rule. Very little money circulation. You know, they want you to get on government assistance, and then there's waiting lists for that and all that crazy ass shit. So it's all a fucking joke, bro.
More to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we
2 million units of what, nigga? You not even there, bro. You must be on some Obama shit reading a teleprompter or something, bro. And don't y'all find that weird too, bro? The whole presidency of Obama, he used a teleprompter for every fucking thing he did. That ain't raise a red flag. We just look past it because he was black, right? Come on now. You thought he prepared those speeches just because he graduated from Harvard and shit? That's what y'all think, right? No.
cap rents so corporate
Ripped.
greed can't take over. The combination of what was left within corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug.
But bro, see, the thing about the healthcare industry, it's all conducive to making and keeping people sick. It's not really trying to find cures with anything. And if you know anything about pharmaceuticals, over fucking 90% of their drugs are based off of plants, based off of, synthetic herbs, basically. They take an isolate of an herb and they emulate that in the lab, however they put that chemical together, which is compounds. It's not the actual harmonic, it's not the actual herb itself, it's just the isolate of it. So when you got isolates, it's not a pure form, so it's not really, it's just kind of like almost a pseudo effect. Like it may work temporarily, but guess what? That's going to cause other problems too, mostly in the kidneys and liver if you're taking prescription medications. Now he's talking about insulin specifically. Despite that, if the prices of prescriptions are coming down, the idea is to make people healthy, but you see how America is. Every other day, new fast food commercials, new items to try and shit. They always trying to get you to buy all that unhealthy shit. And even when you buy healthy shit, it's GMO shit. It's all types of shit you got to look through and sift through to actually get to that good shit. But the pharmaceuticals and the Food Drug Administration are hand in hand, It's the Food and Drug Administration. That's literally the fucking pharmaceutical companies and the food manufacturers, So come on now, they go hand in hand, bro. Come on. KFC is backed by the American Heart Association. Come on now. That's crazy.
All the drugs they conclude beginning next year. And the situation is and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you. President Trump?
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID.
That is a fucking fact, bro. That's what I'm saying. And illegal immigrants, that's not just people who's coming across the border from Mexico. That's essentially these quote unquote refugees these motherfuckers bringing over here, not knowing they background over there. You could be bringing in all types of criminals, all types of motherfucking drug lords and everything, and they could easily pass off their papers as being somebody innocent, fam. And y'all falling for the shit. Y'all bringing them over here. Come on now, taking these jobs, all that shit, bro. That's what I'm saying. Ain't nothing about coming to here and getting you, steady income. But if you getting funding for being a foreigner and all of that shit, and people that live here don't even get the treatment that y'all getting, is fucking insane, bro. Ain't no fucking way.
He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you, President Biden.
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is that we found ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still found ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is,
Trump dead ass pulled people out of Afghanistan, building relationships with Kim Jong-un, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just going around trying to be the peacemaker. What are you talking about? He did nothing about the people in Afghanistan. He pulled the troop. He was pulling troops up. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, bro?
I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
Am I allowed to respond to him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to...
Bro, he be going at China so hard, bro, for no reason, bro. Dog, every fucking time, bro, look at it. Every time we get some type of new item, whatever the fuck, it's always saying made in China and shit. And yeah, the prices that we have to pay over here, like Jordans, for instance, bro, it's like $200 something for a fucking pair, bro. And them sweatshops that they make the motherfuckers in, bro, the material probably only cost them about like 10, 20 cents to put together, $2, $3. And they up-price that shit. That's how they do it, bro. Have y'all ever went to any of them foreign websites and try to buy something and it be like, oh yeah, the item is only like $2, but the shipping be like 200 and something? That's what he talking about. That's why you want to raise them fucking 10% tariffs on that so it can save us money for getting foreign exchange goods and shit and drive that price down because that's a bit excessive. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much what it is, fam. But shout out to Trump coming in swinging. God damn it. Already. Let's get back to the shit.
Just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. Now, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months, and then it blew up under his leadership.
That is a fucking fact, bro. Y'all remember them gas prices when the pandemic jumped? That shit was at like, it was looking like the 90s prices out there. I swear to God, nigga, over here in Milwaukee, bro, it was, gas was like 119 a gallon and shit. That shit damn near dropped to $1 in some gas station sites, bro. I swear to God. Like, it was, everything was smooth, bro. It wasn't shit expensive, but the thing was, bro, everything was shut down. And then when they opened shit back up, before they shut it down again, they pretty much took away that overnight. Like, you know how they got stores open 24 hours? They took away the 24-hour shit. So they basically destroyed some jobs with that alone. Saying, yeah, we gon' only, open up from this time to like 10, 11 o'clock, and then we not gonna do no overnight nothing. So a good percentage of the people that work in certain stores and shit, they losing hours and shit. But all of this was mandated by who? It wasn't Trump. The whole world doing something. Who controls the whole world? Who controls the currency? The Federal Reserve, fam. The bankers, the lobbyists and shit that put the politicians in position for them to make these moves. It's all the bankers, the people that control the money. These are all just figureheads, man. And so Trump damn near was trying to fight back and shit and make shit better, but it's like the bankers like, nah, fam, we still gotta push this shit. Y'all still gonna have to play the game with us. That's how I see it, fam. Let me know what y'all think, though.
Leadership, because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt, while so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave
Hydrochloroquine. Y'all remember him talking about that? Hydrochloroquine. He been talking about it was a natural solution. It wasn't nothing that could harm the body. It was biologically safe, all of that. They said, nah, we gonna push this vaccine that got mRNA in it. And now you got kids coming out here, after the vaccine, after the pandemic, and all of them autistic. You got athletes dropping dead. You had LeBron's son just had a heart attack last year, and now he in the league. Thank God he's still alive. But it was some runner, a black girl, I forget her name, fam. She was like 22 and she died. like last year. Dropped dead, fam. And she was an athlete. She was an Olympic athlete, bro. I think she was like a hurdler or something like that. A hurdler or a track star, one of the two. Either way, she was an athlete. She just dropped dead. You know, all the athletes and shit had to take that shot. So it's like, this is that result, fam. Even if you thinking it ain't shit going on, I ain't trying to scare nobody. But especially if you not eating healthy, fam, like if you took that shot, bro, you might want to start getting on your health shit. Like seriously, start eating your greens and shit, eating your fruits. Make sure the motherfuckers are got some seeds in it. Ultimately, and you know you want to get some herbs in you too. You want to get some herbs that you can't really find in stores like that. Some specialty food, some shit that you got to order from a different country that come through here on DHL shipping. You got to start doing that shit, fam. I'm telling you, that's the only fucking way to stay healthy. And to fight back that shit that you put in your body that you ain't even know what was up in there. But it's altering your DNA. It's fucking with your whole genetic makeup. That's crazy, folks.
Gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24% or 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make
Everything you said was contingent on what's paid by the American taxpayer. The name of the game is how the fuck do we deflate the current inflation rate, or you know, how do we get more money circulated into the fucking economy? How about more jobs? How about every fucking time I call a call center for some type of assistance, I don't want to be met by a motherfucker that live in India. Sorry, motherfucker, I don't speak noodle. No offense, I'm just saying that shit because, you know, y'all seen Tosh Point. That shit was hilarious. But outside of that, bro, like, nothing against my Indian people. Y'all cool as a motherfucker. But it's like, bro, the most motherfuckers that I've talked to, customer service, hell, it don't matter. Anything that got to do with customer service, you hearing more from people in India. It don't matter what it is. Then you hear an American person, and when you get an American motherfucker, they seem to have a fucking attitude. They don't even know how to be professional. It's just all fucked up. It's like, damn, the Indian people, they do be professionals as motherfuckers. Some of them. I've dealt with some that was just weird as fuck. Barely understood the bitch, and she ended up hanging up, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But duh, that's the problem. Like, how about bring jobs back here instead of fucking sending everything for cheap labor and outsourcing it? That's how you fix the fucking economy. Bring jobs back here, bring opportunities here. Don't try to prompt me to have to go to school just to make a fucking honest living by putting me in more fucking debt just to take courses and shit. If that's the case, let that shit be free. Hell, if anything, let it be like other countries where you pay motherfuckers to go to school. And yes, I know you can get grants and shit like that, but the grants that are given don't be enough. It don't suffice for the courses that you need to take and how much they tax for them courses. The books that you're gonna have to buy, more than likely you better off try to get one used or shit to see if you can get that shit digital. It's like, bro, why the fuck do you have to find so many caveats between shit to try to save $1 when certain shit should just be handed out? The information, most of this shit you can find on this motherfucking app right here, YouTube. Professionals, motherfuckers with already got these degrees that can teach you some shit. So it's like, what the fuck's the point of me having this piece of paper if I can just learn from this motherfucker? He's certified or she's certified. Come on now. Just trying to keep motherfuckers stuck, bro.
Single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
If we finally beat Medicare, this nigga was struggling hard as a bitch, bro. Fuck wrong with dude, man? Get your goof ass out of here, nigga. When we finally beat Medicare, fuck is you talking about, bro? Excuse me?
Look, blow up the damn ship!
No! No!
Extra goofy ass nigga, bro said once we beat Medicare. God damn it.
Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Bro, hey, that's how you swing that bitch. That's how you swing that bitch, nigga. He did beat Medicare. He beat the life out of it. Yes, the fuck. All of that shit, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, you saying you brought the price down on medications and all of that shit, bro. Look, I went to the hospital last year, fam, for dehydration and shit, bro. Stomach was fucked up, bro. I had to be on IVs in the hospital for like 4 fucking days. I get out, bro. You know, after a month, they send you a bill. That motherfucker, it was like $1,800 for like 4 days and shit, but that was when I had insurance with the job that I had previously working at the bank and shit. But I looked at the breakdown of that shit, bro, like, without insurance, that shit would have been like damn near fucking 20 G's. And I'm like, bro, so you telling me my motherfucking coverage don't cover I mean, it covers a lot according to the numbers that y'all want to put out there to make it expensive and shit. But it's like, nigga, a bill of $1,800 still is a fucking a healthy ass, beastie ass, too much ass bill just to be checked out in the fucking hospital for 4 days. $1,800. That's fucking crazy, bro. And this shit is coming out of my check every fucking time, every fucking 2 weeks to pay for Medicare, to pay for my healthcare, for my medical, my dental, vision and shit. But it's like you really don't even, it's the fucking joke, bro. You're not really getting anything for it. How the fuck you gonna have money taken out of my shit? Just to have this shit. So if something were to happen and shit, a nigga still gonna have to pay a bill. It ain't even like, oh, you just pay like $30 and whatever the fuck happened, you cool. That's how it should be, bro. It shouldn't even be a fucking copay. It shouldn't be no copay. It shouldn't be nothing. If that shit coming out your check, bro, you should have that access to be able to be taken care of, and you have no fucking debt after that. That's fucking insane, bro.
Because all of these people, they're putting them on Medicare, they're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security.
See what I'm saying? The millions and millions of people that he's bringing in. He's talking about the refugees, sanctuary cities, Afghanistan, Ukraine, and all of that shit. Illegal immigrants coming over here from Mexico and shit. It's getting bad, bro. And that's gonna fuck everybody else up. So the American citizens is working now. Motherfuckers probably ain't even gonna be able to retire and shit. It's like either you gonna come up big while you young and spry, goddamn it. While you young and spry, just go on here, grind, get that bread, retire by you like around the time you like 40, 45, retire and shit, and you good. Or before then, shit, 35. Fuck you talking about? And really manage the fuck out of your money. That's the main thing too. Shout out to Anton Daniels. He mentioned, and that makes a lot of sense too. It's like a lot of people don't have a money problem; they have a spending problem. So it's like you got to learn how to budget your money. I learned my lesson from that shit. Get through this motherfucking heat. I mean, I learned shit. Don't get too motherfucking comfortable. Don't get to just splurging and shit. That shit can lead you in a bad fucking place, man, for real. But the whole job situation, like, damn, it would be easy to find work that's worth working and shit that ain't no fucking slave type shit where you just in a factory slinging boxes and pallets. Fuck that, bro. Like, no, nigga, we need some shit. Let me get some shit that's smooth and easy and pays well and shit. Delivery, fucking driving a truck or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Something. Side of the bullshit that y'all want motherfuckers to work for them little $27, $28 jobs. Building pallets and shit, bro. I ain't finna fuck my body up for that. Y'all got me fucked up, bro. Buy some machinery for that shit. Fuck you, man.
Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely...
Bro, thank you, folks. Sending $68 billion to fucking Ukraine. What the fuck are they doing for us? You literally sending them money and they giving us people, refugees from over there, or war criminals, because let's be honest, it ain't all innocent motherfuckers that's coming over here from there, right? And you send them over here, not only have you sent money to their country, but you giving them monies when they come over here, so that's even more money, or unless that's in the budget, regardless, bro, that's fucking insanity. If you got all of this money to send to these motherfuckers, why the fuck can't you throw that shit in the American people's pocket if you see the economy is this fucked up? Ain't the whole idea to take care of home first, nigga? What the fuck is so interesting over there that got the conflict of interest with the United States that we gotta send money to these motherfuckers? What the fuck are we protecting over there that's worth $65 billion? The fuck is you talking about?
absolutely criminal.
It
Thank you,
is.
President Trump. Dana?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump.
Hey, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I don't really give no fuck about that. And I'm saying this with strict love in my heart, fam, ladies. I ain't got nothing against that shit. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is, if it was an instance of like a rape case, a rape baby or something like that, then I can understand you getting an abortion. But if you made a conscious decision to let this nigga skeet up in you and it was consensual, I don't need it. There's nothing to it. Like, you got contraceptives, you got Plan Bs, you got the option to abort. That's your choice. And I know some states say we don't allow that, so that means you got to move different. They ain't finna change it just because you want to sit back and let a nigga skeet up in you, bitch. If that's the case, move to a state that allow it. Let's get past this shit. I don't even want to sit here and waste my time with that. For real.
Mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country.
Legally
Let me see what the question was.
endorsed my
I think I went too far.
very hard to get a bypass.
New York and Chicago, and in some cases, overwhelming borders of migrants have illegally.
Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto.
President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. By the way, the Border Patrol.
Bro, this nigga's just rambling, bro. He just saying shit, bro. What the fuck is you even saying, bro?
Endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages.
You made those cages, bro. You and Obama under that administration had that whole little ICE operation shit set up to get people that's coming across the border, bro. Alright? And you know that. You know that. Just so happened, some presidents put laws into effect where the next president that comes in, if it's already in motion, it's in motion. Type shit. Like the NDAA Act. When Trump came into office, that Obama signed when he was on his way out. So it's just kind of like, you know?
Just making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere.
And I swear to God, and I'm not trying to sit here and like, oh yeah, Trump, but he's legitimately telling us the whole play that's going on. Once again, going back to Afghanistan a couple of years ago with Biden in office, bringing them refugees, quote unquote, terrorists over here to these sanctuary cities. It was a story that happened in Chicago where it was some motherfuckers that was over here. I don't know if they were from Ukraine or from Afghanistan. It was one of the two. Came over here starting shit with each other. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, just because they, whatever the fuck you want to label them as whatever, but they probably all fucking criminals. They telling us, oh, they refugees. Just like 9/11, they try to tell us, oh yeah, well, it was the terrorists, and it was the whole time it was a remote control plane and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. They lie in your face, fam, and they try to set a narrative to make you believe that that's what the fuck it is. Whole time is motherfuckers coming over here that are straight criminals, bro. Straight terrorists, all of that shit. The crazy motherfuckers, like he said, insane asylums and prisons and shit coming over here illegally and through the front door because, hey, we sending y'all money, y'all send y'all refugees, quote unquote, or whoever the fuck over here. Send your criminals over here so we gonna cause more chaos and crime here. That's crazy. They literally throwing agents in America to bring this shit down. That's what's happening, folks. That's exactly what the fuck is happening.
All over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Bombs. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in his administration, killed three American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. Right. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed three people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani. The two greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world, and it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people
Pretty
in
much.
New York, in California, in every
Chicago.
state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're
There you
killing
go.
our citizens at a
There you
level that
go.
we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these three incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places.
See?
Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't
Bro.
care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all.
Bro, I'm saying though, if you really been paying attention, bro, Trump is coming with some fucking heat, bro. He really is, man. I'm sorry, bro. If y'all can't see this shit by now, I don't know what to tell you, fam. God put shit right in your face, fam. You can ignore that shit if you want to. It don't matter. It's gonna be a point in time where all that shit gonna come out. You're gonna be like, damn, I kinda, But no, fam, like, you can't ignore it. Just accept it for what it is. There's a reason why the media try to slander Trump. He wasn't supposed to get in. He happened to get in, and you see what the fuck he did. He changed shit around. He shook shit up. He really tried to do shit for people. Going back to the HBCUs, he gave them like $500 million funding, shit like that. Like, bro, he was really out here cashing people out, like taking care of different communities and shit. So it's like you can't knock the man, bro. You really can't knock the man. I don't know how what else he got to do to prove that he can show you like what the fuck the president can do, and he's doing this shit. All these other motherfuckers just talk. That's why I don't
And
like
he doesn't
Trump.
care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living right next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up, and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
Four-star general standing on your side who was on your staff who said you
Bro, I mean, Trump already cooking, but now y'all up there looking like two angry old men and shit. Trying to say who gonna go first in the game of cribbage. Get y'all old ass, bro. Hey, Trump 2020. Go ahead and get that man up back up in that 4 more years, bro. To turn this shit around, some motherfuckers can get some money. Fuck, stop playing.
you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, a president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost, but he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind, too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president. They attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish, Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. Wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I
as
never
come back
said
to you
that.
for 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine?
No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war He led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that
200 billion. See, the last little lump sum they sent was like 68 or something. But damn, I ain't know he was at 200 billion with that shit. That's even worse. No wonder why this shit going up. No wonder why everything is going up. Motherfuckers taxing mode. This shit is crazy, bro. For real.
Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly.
Bro, Biden sitting up there looking like he know it's over, bro. The hell wrong with dude with his animatronic looking ass, bro? Chuck E. Cheese monster looking ass, bro. Fuck wrong.
Settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, and by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward, which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one, they're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas, greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for using certain weapons among population centers.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent $100 billion, or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General
Damn near though.
Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. Are you going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have our strength lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but we're ever able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has this.
If that's the case, why the fuck is America putting up so much fucking money? Why are the sanctuary cities mainly in the United States then? If everybody in NATO backs this, why the fuck are we putting up the most money? And bringing all of them criminals and shit over here. Y'all call them refugees, though. Explain that, bro.
Serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question. Would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time? And I said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy.
That's
Former
crazy.
President Trump, I want to ask you about
Paying
January
everybody
6th,
else's bills.
2021. After you rallied
That's
your
exactly
supporters
what's
that
happening.
day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor in writing turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her, and she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Yeah, a couple of folks lost their lives in that shit too. It was one video, Doug. I remember I seen that shit. It was somebody trying to break in a door. It was like some bitch, some female, Doug, was trying to like pull open a door or some shit. And it was in the White House. And then you seen somebody just peep through, like it was like a little windows in the door and shit. You seen him peek up, and then he just fired off on her, just hit her with a couple of shots, bro, and just murked her. Like, damn, bro. It was one of them videos that I'm pretty sure they probably snubbed it from the internet. Probably didn't, bro, but a lot of people seen that shit, and they like, damn, okay, so it looked like they sent in some undercover motherfuckers. They had on their hood, they had on a shiesty, bro. They legit had on a shiesty, my nigga. Ski mask and the hood up. Popped up in the window and shit. Seen that bitch trying to break in the door, and he just fuck. Now I don't know what room that was, bro. If you in the White House, bro, you already know it got secret agents, CIA, all that shit. So you know they got certain motherfuckers in certain places. But it was almost like a raid on the Capitol. I'm not sure what the fuck, because the news only tell you so much, bro, and certain people only leak certain information. But what Trump is speaking on, I'm pretty sure certain shit they telling me he can't say, because he been spilling a lot, bro. But I'm pretty sure it's way more that he could say. But it'll fuck around and probably get him killed, bro. But that shit that happened on January 6th back in 2021, yeah, that was weird. It was weird, you know.
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours. 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. But he went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court. And they said,
That nigga running out of energy, bro. You finna pass out and shit, bro. Voice all hissy and shit. Sound like a deflating fucking balloon, nigga. The hell going on with you,
they
bud?
said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do a damn thing. And these people should be in jail. And they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there, with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that. They saw them coming, and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing. The Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now, out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, deserves to be convicted. The idea that they didn't kill somebody, just went in and broke down doors, broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks, turned over statues. The idea that those people are patriots? Come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had, first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boys? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? Will you denounce the people who attacked that Capitol? What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor, having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that.
And let me just address that whole Proud Boys, what Joe Biden was asking about Trump. He was telling, yeah, I remember that too. He was like, oh yeah, I tell the Proud Boys to stand by. Now, the Proud Boys essentially is just like a group of people, you know, pretty much have a common goal, common interest. To pretty much like work together and like basically banish and ban all of the like the ways of the old, you know. For instance, like getting people to understand, like, even though the shit happened, there's a lot of black people traumatized from slavery and shit. But it's like understanding, like, yeah, this young generation, this generation now that we're in, you know, 30 and up, pretty much understand what it is now, and they not own no racial shit for the most part. That's what those people were on. I'm not gonna say most of the country ain't racist as fuck, because bullshit ain't nothing. That is the case. But this was the idea of a group, not to say, but they deemed them as domestic terrorists, obviously, because it was pretty much a one-minded ideal to just pretty much, you know, we building anew. The shit that happened in the past was bogus as fuck. We understand that. But we willing to help y'all out. We willing to do what we need to do so we can put y'all in the position that y'all need to be in as black people, and us as people, us as men, us as women, so we can all get along and really change the narrative of how shit is. Even though whatever the fuck happened back then, it is what it is. And a lot of people still need motherfucking, you know, retribution for that. The feeling the need to break even, to get even. But honestly, the opportunities for black, white, Asian, Hispanic, I'm talking about all the people that's already here in America, it's pretty much a fair level. It's the playing field has been leveled for quite some time now. So you really can't blame, oh, well, the white man, this, that, and the third. A lot of times, the attitudes and the aggressiveness and the tone and people's voice and shit and how you speak to people affects your results in the real world. You can still be you. But, you know, sometimes people just, it's always the niggas that complain about the shit. And you can be looking at these people and be like, well, I understand why the opportunities slip through your hands. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it for a second. I can see why the opportunity slipped through some of y'all niggas' hands because, like, y'all just can't turn that ghetto off. It's kind of like you just want to remain in that state. This would be the same motherfuckers talking about reparations and all that shit. And you got a gang of black people that's willing to just get that shit from the mud and understand, like, hey, you got to create the fucking opportunity. It really ain't no white people slowing you down. It's you in your own way and shit. And that's really what it boiled down to. Elevate. A lot of people ain't gonna get it. A lot of people may hate that I said that shit, bro, but it ain't nothing against my people. I love my people. But when you got that nigga mentality where you just stay stuck thinking a certain way in that low vibration, bro, you can never expand and you can never grow from that shit.
Like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with. And think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam, and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republic.
And let's keep in mind that campaign money speak, bro. Them votes gonna ultimately the collegiate. I can't pronounce it right, but the electoral college. The electoral college. There we go. That's what determines, the presidency. Not necessarily the popular vote. But depending on your county's jurisdiction, however many votes y'all get towards the electoral college will pretty much tally up for who's going to be president. It's the first one to reach 240. So whoever reaches that 240 first is going to win that shit. And we going to see come election night. I'm pretty sure that shit going to be a landslide, my nigga. Unless they try to rig the votes like they did back in 2020 with the mail-in ballots and shit. That's another thing, bro. All of that shit, bro. If y'all seen reviews of people going over the whole ballot thing, bro, and how when they tallied them ballots up, how it went from one range and it had like a little grid, a little chart where it would be like, okay, all the votes are in by 8 p.m. or whenever the polls close. And then, oh yeah, we got to take a while to tally the votes, and then it shoots up so many numbers. Like, oh, okay, so all of these people voted for Biden. They was using dead people as voters and all of that shit, bro. They was rigging the fuck out that election, bro. They rigged it.
Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you hear any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Do you ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches, and singing the same anti-Semitic bile they sang when back in Germany. And the young woman got killed. They spoke to the mother, and they asked him. They said, what do you think of those people? The people the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones he said, I think they're fine people on both sides. What American president would ever say Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas were fine people? And this is the guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. The good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
President Trump.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on this. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency, he's without question the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every anchor every reasonable anchor has debunked it. And just the other day it came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
President Biden.
And debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well. They serve with him. Why are they not endorsing him?
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Man, look here, folks. I should start back up, but we're starting. All right.
Terms, and you'd certainly face again in a second term. President Biden, while black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, black families still earned far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're providing housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporate.
Now, when it comes to black, I mean, it is a lot of black people all over, bro. It's not just in certain areas no more. You see black all around. I'm proud of my people, definitely. But the housing market is trash as fuck. The rent, all of that shit is high, so it's kind of hard to actually get in these spots. But shout out to the black people that's actually been grinding on their job, on their hustle, got their shit going, and ain't fucked up right now. Like, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. But when I see Biden saying the black population has been in the lowest unemployment rate, I mean, it's one thing to be employed, it's another thing in how much you're getting paid and what sustains your life, your lifestyle and shit. You got to learn how to budget your money. Yes, that's one thing. But it's almost like, damn, you can't even have no fun with your shit. You can't even really go out like that and go on vacation because you got to, budget a little better. But not everybody, not every black person is dealing with that. But a lot of people just in general are. And the economy is pretty fucked up right now. We all see that. I don't know what the fuck going on with the job market. Entry level jobs is kind of like not a thing anymore. You see hella jobs being advertised entry level when you apply and you don't get in. You call, follow up, do all that email, phone call. We went for it with a different applicant. Like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? But whatever, fam. This is me ranting.
These corporate operations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that black families have to make relative to child care is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major legislation in the past, I was able to reduce black child care costs. I cut them in half. We got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those child care protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to black?
Bro, Joe, I don't have no faith in you, bro. Let alone faith in man. I mean, Trump, honestly, having faith in that is pushing it. But at least that nigga got a game plan. At least he's letting us know what the fuck is going on. And with you, bro, we already know you not running the show. Clearly, you can't even walk properly. You know what I'm saying? And you just go ahead and let you rest before you just keel over, bro. There's been too much shit happening. And I seen post this interview, this debate, of what Kamala Harris was trying to say to back up Joe Biden. She was just we gonna have to watch that part too. I'm just gonna see what they talk about with this. And I'm gonna watch the rest, probably do a part 2 of the rest of this debate. But I definitely got to pull up that clip where Anderson Cooper was talking to Kamala. But after this, though,
Black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any black family first-time home buyer should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those black families and those black individuals who had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism, if they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for black.
I'll give him credit for that too. Like, as far as that student forgiveness loan shit, that's probably the only good thing I can say about Biden, bro. Even though me personally, I haven't benefited from that, because by the time I submitted my application in my form, it was saying, oh, it's a wait list, so you might need to reapply or some shit. And now all of a sudden, here it is again, the little the grace period then ended and they expecting their money now. Now Nelnet want their money again, but I'm just gonna have to reapply, see if they still got that shit going on. I don't think they do. I think that shit has been exhausted. I think all the funds have been exhausted from that. But I'm gonna have to check and see.
Black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right. It's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food, where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet.
Wait, what you mean by black jobs, Hispanic jobs? You trying to say entry level, nigga? I was just talking about that, but dog, like, Black jobs. What do you mean by that? Like what do you mean? I mean, a job is a job, my nigga. We gotta watch that, Trump. I ain't gonna hold you. I know you don't mean no harm, but I wouldn't think you do. Cause I already know Trump's like track record, bro. He not no racist motherfucker. He not. But I guess since we're talking about the black community, let's keep on mentioning black. But it's like black jobs, Hispanic jobs, like. But I mean, you see black people, you see Hispanics everywhere. So it's not like, oh, it's all just entry level shit. No, we see him driving trucks, driving trailers and shit. You know what I'm saying? 18 wheelers and shit. See these motherfuckers on trains, being they engineers, they fucking pilots, bro. So it's just like, it's not just, oh, black jobs, white jobs. No, we niggas all over, bro. So just the honest living job. I guess anything out. I'm not trying to sit here and conflate, but I'm guessing what he mean by that is like anything outside of government job or some shit. I don't know, but that's uh.
Going to see something that's going to be the worst.
I don't feel no evil intent from him saying it and how he's saying it, but I just had to just it's like black jobs. What nigga ain't no black job. Job is a job, motherfucker. What the fuck is you talking about? Hey, fuck that. Give Trump the horn for that one. That was a L on Trump's behalf. Just mentioning that. I ain't like that. I ain't like that. But let's get back to this shit though.
In our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 15% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, the ACA has increased. I made sure that there are $8,000 per person in a family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They've tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again, and they're going to try again if they win. We find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have.
That's the problem now. Hiring too many damn police officers, bro. I ain't saying cut the budget because we gonna need y'all. We definitely need police, but for little unnecessary shit like sheriffs, highway patrol and shit like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and especially towards the end of the month when motherfuckers need to meet that quota, bro, they be out like fucking mosquitoes, nigga. They be all over the place. You be like, damn, bro. Even if your shit legit, your papers in order, you got registration, license good, all that shit. It's still kind of like, it's annoying as fuck to have an officer just riding behind you and shit for no fucking reason. It's like, I know you running my place, motherfucker, but what the fuck is the point of that? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you just wasting time and the taxpayers' money just bullshitting around trying to write motherfuckers tickets and baiting them in questions. Oh, do you have insurance? Bro, you know insurance. How's the bitch, bro? Maybe. Fuck is you talking about? Don't worry about it, nigga. But yeah. Don't need more police, bro. That's how shit becomes a martial law state and shit. You got so many damn police officers patrolling areas and shit. Is like, let people be free, my nigga. That's the problem. That whole pandemic shit, when y'all shut shit down, open back up, that fuck with businesses, that fuck with other people's jobs. Going back to them being open for 24 hours or so many hours. Now they reduced their hours and shit. They even reduced the budget. Everything got cut. They done lost money. The whole the house was in cahoots, had a shutdown, trying to figure out if they was gonna give people a stimulus check, and they're like, well, what the fuck else do y'all expect? And then motherfuckers that was working that y'all call essential workers wasn't getting no type of stipend, no bonus, nothing. And I was one of them motherfuckers that was out there working in the pandemic, even though I know it wasn't shit, no way. Because I've been talking about that shit when it jumped off, nigga. But I legitimately was in a situation where it's like, I'm installing electric meters. And this is what I'm saying, bro. I'm seeing a plan and a play come together. Out there installing electric meters, bro. So they got us going to fucking cell towers. Shit like that. Guess what? Everybody in the house, not that many people on the road around March 2020 through fucking basically 2021, the roads was damn near empty. So only thing people's out there is me, you know, utility workers, cable workers, cable providers, Spectrum, Charter, you know. And when it all came down to it, every time you went outside, every other week, you'd see a new fucking cell tower up. It's the reason why they had motherfuckers in the house at 9 o'clock. They legitimately put a fucking curfew on people. Why would y'all put a curfew on something based off of a virus? Like it come out and gangbang at night or something. Like why the fuck 9 o'clock gotta be the cutoff time? You can't be on the street unless you going to work. That's martial law shit. That was a whole fucking drill that they ran, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with no virus, bro. That shit ain't had nothing to do with a virus. They ran a whole drill and everybody fucking obliged, nigga. That was a tester. It's another pandemic coming, bro. Please believe that shit. It might be next year or it might be 2028, but it's coming soon, bro. I already know that shit.
Have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on, but in inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronted.
Like I said, we're gonna watch this video with Anderson Cooper talking to Kamala Harris, but just to address that shit real quick, that shit really ain't no factor neither. Fuck talking about the weather and how it changed, nigga. Global warming, global cooling, it's a whole thing. It's a system that works. The planet gonna heal itself, bro. The people are fucked. Don't worry about the global warming, nothing, motherfucker. Look, the planet gonna heal itself. So if a lot of y'all motherfuckers gotta go through a catastrophic fucking event, that's what the fuck gonna happen. That's real shit. The people is fucked. The world gonna be alright. Y'all worried about the wrong shit. We are fucking spirits having a human experience, nigga. Don't forget that shit. But let me pull up this video with Kamala and Anderson Cooper, then we gonna close this shit out, fam. Alright, fam, we back with this Kamala, and let me pull myself so we can see her too. Put myself down here. And I don't know why the screen just went black, but hold up. Wait a minute, fam. Did we get it? There we go. Alright. Let's hop to it.
Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
Step down immediately. Bitch.
Listen, first of all,
You too. Pipe neck ass bitch. Walking up on the scene with Montel Jordan. You was one of his hoes, wasn't you? Oh yeah, I'm finna get on your ass too this evening. Fuck you mean, bitch. Fuck is you talking about? What you want? Wasn't you one of his hoes? Wasn't you? Yeah, he was. He was one of his hoes. Yeah. Yeah, you bitch. You. Motherfucker. Am I pointing up at her? Yeah. You bitch. You motherfucker. So go fast out of here, fam. Let's go ahead and continue.
what we saw tonight is the president making a very clear contrast with Donald Trump on all of the issues that matter to the American people. Yes, there was a slow start, but it was a strong finish. And what became very clear through the course of the night is that Joe Biden is fighting on behalf of the American people, on substance, on policy, on performance.
But bitch, you not. I'm sorry, bro. I do not like Kamala at all. I hate that bitch. Like, bro, she came in the gate talking black empowerment, black women, this, that, and the third, and as soon as this motherfucker got elected, bro, what did she do? What did she try to implement for black folks? For black women, at least, nothing. She went quiet. She was quiet as a motherfucking church mouse, bitch. What happened? What happened? Exactly. Joe goof ass out here.
Is extraordinarily strong. And
But I'm sorry,
that
on
cannot
substance
be
and
debated.
policy and performance tonight, I mean, the president's performance tonight clearly was disappointing for his supporters. CNN is reporting Democratic lawmakers watching the debate were worried about the president's performance. One said it was a disaster. Another called it a train wreck. Those are Democrats especially worried that Biden did not punch back on Trump's lies.
Listen, people can debate on style points, but ultimately this election and who is the president of the
It's not style points, fam. He was laying down absolutes, facts, shit that you can pull up, proof. Wasn't no style points. Wasn't no style points, bro. Y'all being exposed. This is the great exodus, the great revelation. You motherfuckers better wake up and see what the fuck time it is and what these people doing, bro. November, bro. Hey, I gotta get Trump back in that bitch, bro, so he can try to change some shit around, bro. Shit been too motherfucking hectic, like, bro, for real.
the United States has to be about substance. And the contrast is clear. Look at what happened during the course of the debate. Donald Trump lied over and over and over again, as he is wont to do. He would not disavow what happened on January 6th. He would not give a clear answer on whether he would stand by the election results this November. He went back and forth about where he stands on one of the most critical issues of freedom in America, which is the right of a woman to make decisions about their own body. He has
Man, they should. They do have the choice. Once again, going back to that Roe v. Wade that I skipped over. If it wasn't a rape case, I don't give a damn what state it is. If it was a rape case and you ended up pregnant, look, obviously that should be a pass, a pardon. If it's something that's out of your control, something that you was forcefully done. But if you had your own free will where you volunteered, y'all both came to an agreement. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that, oh yeah, you should go ahead and have it full term. You still got a choice. You can get tested out, see what the fuck going on. You can take a plan B afterwards. You using unprotected sex. You can do plenty shit. So it's not like you don't have the option to do that. Quit acting and trying to fucking play victim, acting like you ain't got no choice because they saying, oh, women's rights are being dismantled. No, they not. Y'all delusional as fuck. Ain't nothing being taken from you. Just take better care of yourself. You can't just be out here just willy-nilly with that shit. Because a lot of y'all hoes be popping out kids just for the fucking benefit of having kids so that you can get some type of fucking tax break or tax cut for these motherfuckers. And y'all know the game, especially here in the black community, bro. Y'all pass these kids around like they fucking parlays and shit. Y'all be having parlays, nigga. That's what I see. That's what it is.
has been completely ambiguous and all over the place about where he stands on that issue, despite the fact that he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and that's exactly what they did. And just 3 years ago, we commemorated the 2-year anniversary of Dobbs, wherein women across our country have been denied emergency health care,
All that may be true. All that may be true. But the president of the United States was not able to make that case to Donald Trump on the stage tonight. I mean, you debated against then Vice President Vice President Biden 4 years ago, and he was a very different person on the stage 4 years ago when you debated him. That's certainly true, is it not?
Oh, he just bust her motherfucking bubble. You seen her over there smirking like, yeah, we finna bring up all the facts, motherfucker. Y'all was back there when y'all had that run back in 2016, bro. Before Trump got up in there, it was between you and Joe Biden for the Democratic Party. And y'all was up on stage debating each other. Now, I don't remember exactly the specifics of it, but obviously they didn't pull the fucking rap sheet up on their ass. And let's see her address it.
Anderson.
You've been had, bitch. You've been had. Yeah, go ahead and play that motherfucking fail horn on her immediately, nigga. You get the fail, bitch. Talking about some ass. So goofer.
The point has to be performance in terms of what a president does. A president who incites an insurrection against the Capitol. No, but I got the point that you're making about a 1.5-hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in.
See what I'm saying? Being deflective, fam. Dog. Address what he asked you. You trying to sit here and get back to a point. He trying to make a point of saying we all was back there debating on the stage. Wasn't it something different? Was it a different tune about the Roe versus Wade case? What happened? Didn't y'all disagree on a certain idea of that? And now here y'all is sitting buddy. That's the vice president now. You the vice president now. You the president. What's really going on? That's all he trying to do is figure out what the fuck is y'all motives, because y'all seem to be flip-flopping and not have a direct answer and want to fucking move the goalpost and get to switching shit. Shout out to Anderson Cooper for actually like staying on their ass, bro. I know CNN been stepping their shit up since they ain't been getting that many viewers and shit, bro. They really on some Walter Cronkite shit, bro. Like they keeping this shit like professional on some. What's dude name? Damn, I can't think of dude name. I can't think of the other white reporter name back in the day and shit. But anyway, not Walter Cronkite, bro, but they on y'all ass, fam. Answer the question. But she deflecting, though. Let's see what she got to say. Let's see how she dance her way out of this shit.
Work that has been historic.
But
whether
is that
it be
the man who we saw
former
on the
guy,
stage
the other
tonight,
guy,
is that the
the other
person
guy
you
on
see
the
in
debate
meetings every day?
stage, the person that you saw on the debate stage that has, for the last 3.5 years,
Now
up
she
until
mumbling,
today,
stomping and shit.
performed in a way that has been about, whether it be in the Oval Office, negotiating bipartisan deals so that we have an infrastructure.
Bro, and it's here we go with just saying phrases and words to make people just conflating some shit. She's not even saying nothing. Bipartisan deals for what? Specifically, can we get the specifics? Is it not good to tell the American people exactly what we're going as bipartisan deals for what exactly? We need details, man. We can't be going for just these big phrases and shit. Try to sound like you're saying something. I'm hearing you and you not saying a motherfucking thing right now, folks.
A real infrastructure plan where we're putting trillions of dollars on the streets of America to upgrade our infrastructure. Whether it be the person I see in the Oval Office who is meeting with heads of the military.
Y'all ain't putting no trillions of dollars into no damn infrastructure, bro. These motherfucking roads be under construction every goddamn season in the weirdest spots, and don't no work be done about the end of the season. When they take the motherfucking cones off the street, what y'all do? Just put in a new manhole and shit? A new sewer? That's all y'all did was update that, but y'all ain't update the concrete around that shit on the whole fucking road. Now we still got big ass potholes and shit to dodge and shit, but y'all just want to clear out everything to put down a new pipe in the fucking ground, but didn't cover up and fix all the shit around it. What's the point of that? These American roads are fucked, bro. No matter any major city, bro. It's kind of like, it's not beyond repair. The thing is, it's too much weight. It's too much shit going on these roads, and that's why all this shit giving way. That's all it boiled down to, bro. The collapse, nigga. Big sinkholes coming. Fuck you mean? And all these the storms and shit. Let's not mention that. I don't know if it's controlled by fucking by HARP, because that's definitely a factor that could be manipulating this weather. That's what I honestly think. That make weather patterns in certain areas just seem a bit abnormal. Lately here in the Midwest, bro, it's been a lot of flash floods, flooding, all that shit, bro. Big ass sinkhole coming. I do not know. Might be some more lakes coming soon and shit in these big ass cities and shit. Might fuck around be a lake in 20 years. Who knows, right?
Military and the intelligence community and in the Situation Room, ensuring the safety of America. The person I see in Joe Biden on the world stage, convening world leaders who often ask for his advice. Most recently, just during the G7 conference. So I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes. When I've been watching the last 3.5 years of performance.
Now she tried to make it seem like she really ate. She dead ass has proved this point. You talking about some, I don't want to sit here and talk about the last 130 minutes. I mean the last 90 minutes, but he legitimately asked her a question about them debating, about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden debating back in 2016. We talking about 8 years ago, Kamala. We not talking about just 90 minutes ago. So what the fuck are you talking about? See what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying, bro. Motherfuckers try to conflate shit, try to make it seem like, oh yeah, let me just go ahead and try to deflect. Fuck that. This is what I'm talking about, fam. I'm done ranting, fam. Y'all done got some knowledge from me. Y'all done pretty much refreshed y'all memories from 2020 up until now, because I know a lot of y'all motherfuckers probably drunk and probably still drunk, probably got a habit that you need to break. Look, fam, for all of that, hit up MillerThyme.life for your holistic health products. I got sea moss that can get you right. Got supplements and shit to help you shake all of that motherfucking drag off of you. All of that bog and all of that fog. Hit up me, Miller Thyme. Let's get it. Until next time, y'all take care, fam. We out. Miller Thyme. Dropping dimes, let's go. Say we need not go, so I need not say. Lay the smack down on your goof ass, you don't bring my payment. Say you're looking for foundation, yeah? Can't be the case, bitch, you don't know your placement. Unless it's zodiacs, no need to go to that. I throw your facts, think abstract, you just whack, you too old for that. Take accountability, it's some things you need to tweak. New lesson learning now, I got a topic every week.
Give a fuck about what your pop said. Yeah, bitch, shut your mouth. No, you roll like the Rock said. Don't give a fuck about what your pop said. Yeah, just shut your mouth. No, you roll like the Rock said. Don't